All right. Hey, everyone. I hope this week you all can hear me a little bit better. I upgraded the equipment. So hopefully I don't come across sounding like a robot like last week. My hair is doing some crazy stuff. So I'm coming to you all from home today. We stayed at home. And so this is what used to be the office here for Ink Goddess Creations. It is now my meditation room slash Arizona room, a plant room for us. So yeah. Today's live, and we're going to go ahead and start doing these every Friday at 3 Pacific time. And I know I got the notification up kind of late earlier today because I wasn't sure what I was going to run with. But ever since this morning, it's really been like protection, but especially for empaths, because that tends to be what a lot of you seem to resonate with. And I think it's because we empaths are taking on a lot right now. So last week I did, magical practices for stressful times, and the feedback that I was getting about empath stuff specifically seemed to really be, what resonated. So that's why this video this week is going to be about protection for empaths, especially during stressful times. So for those of you just joining, or if you're new here, I am Morgan. I'm the owner of Ink Goddess Creations. I will be doing this. I will be going live every Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific time to talk about different things, magical practices, things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right in this time around. And if anything, if you have any questions, even though this is a Facebook Live, I can see comments, things like that. So if you have any comments, questions, pop them up. I can read them, address them, and we'll go from there. Yeah. So as far as protection for empaths, so empaths, we'll even kind of take one step back. An empath is a person who can feel other people's emotions or feel emotions outside of theirs. They tend to kind of take on things, other people's emotions, or vibe in an area. So when things get a little crazy, like they are now, empaths are kind of the first to take it all on. And we feel everything. We feel it deeply. I'm going to go into a little bit later. There's kind of, from my perspective or from my experience, there's 2 different ways that empaths take on the energy from around them. And we'll go into kind of a few different things for those 2 types specifically. But I'm going to go through some easy practices and then cover some gemstones, essential oils and herbs, and then different things that you can actually do as an empath, depending on, what type of empath you are. So that's what the whole thing today is going to be. And I'll start out with gemstones because witches love crystals. We tend to have them all around. And so these are gemstones. There are so many out there. And the first thing that I have to stress when it comes to using gemstones is you need to find your personal power stone. So that's going to be like, for me personally, I have tons of gemstones that I work with. But for me, my power stone is morganite. So that's my morganite bracelet. I generally wear it all the time. And I'll get to why I wear gemstone bracelets a little bit later when I get to the practicing or to the practices that empaths can do. So for me, morganite, that's my personal power stone. So I tend to, that one calms me, but it also empowers me. It's just a great one. So once you find a stone that you really resonate with, a lot of people start out when you're trying to find that. A lot of people start out with their birthstone. That's a really good one, or a stone for your astrological sign. It's a really great way to start trying to find what your power stone is. So definitely, start there. As far as gemstones that I have found effective for helping empaths, the first one is definitely black tourmaline. Like for me, that is the stone for empaths. Black tourmaline is going to protect you from others' energy, especially negative energy. It actually takes negative energy, cleanses it, and kind of transforms it into positive energy. It repels it. It gives you like a shield, an energetic shield, and it also blocks psychic attacks. So black tourmaline for me is like the stone for empaths. And that is why we do have an empath kit at Ain't Goddess Creations. You get a black tourmaline necklace with it, because just having that, wearing it right there, automatic energetic shield. So that's the number one. That's the number one stone that I've found effective. The second one is one that is a stone that I love working with. It's fluorite. I resonate very highly with blue fluorites, and like where it's so green it's blue, and purple fluorite are my favorite. But fluorite for empaths are going to cleanse and stabilize your aura. So your aura, if you're a beginner witch, your aura is your energetic field that kind of hovers, around your body. So it's going to cleanse and stabilize your aura. It's going to focus your mental abilities. That's the biggest thing about fluorite. It's really good for students. It's really good for people that have to really focus and concentrate. So when it comes to being an empath, fluorite is going to help you kind of the energies and everything that you're taking on. It's going to help you differentiate it. Okay, like that's my thought. That's my energy. This one is not mine. I'm able to let me focus on this for a second and kind of get rid of that and push that away from me. So you can focus on one energy at a time, one thing at a time that's kind of coming at you. So fluorite, I definitely recommend as far as kind of being like a filter of energy and helping you to focus on one energy from a place at a time. And the more that you can, okay, this energy is coming from here. Let me process that, clean it, do whatever I need to, and then, get rid of it. And kind of that's what fluorite can help you do. So the third one is hematite. Hematite, super grounding, best grounding stone there is. It's going to attach your root chakra to the earth, bring you down, and kind of attach your energy. If your energy is scattered and is like spread out from you, it's going to bring your energy back to you, ground down through that root chakra into the earth, and really give you that grounding. And that's what a lot of empaths need. Once your energy, you kind of bring that back to you, then you can cleanse it, you can protect it, you can do all of that. So hematite is absolutely great for bringing that energy back to you, running it through your root chakra and into the earth. It's also a great protection stone. I have notes in case you're like, just to make sure I have everything straight. It's also a good stone of focus. So along with fluorite, it's going to help you ground, center, and then you can further differentiate, okay, that energy is mine, that thought is mine, that one is not mine. Let's cleanse that and send it back. And it will also, hematite also prevents absorbing negative energy from others. So it's really good. It's up there with black tourmaline as far as helping you put up a shield and then really grounds and protects your energy. And the last one that I have found very helpful is rose quartz, because a lot of people are born as empaths. A lot of people, it is something that kind of develops because of maybe your profession, or the people that you're around. So with rose quartz, being an empath is a gift. It really is. And how you view it or how you can handle it is the energy that you'll associate with it, as far as, is it a positive gift or is it a negative gift? So for me, rose quartz helps you keep that heart chakra open and compassionate toward others. So as you come into contact with someone, and I think for me, for example, I can always tell when we have a frustrated customer who sends an emotionally charged email or makes an emotionally charged comment on something. It's very easy for me to tell whether we are actually like, okay, we screwed up, we did something, let's help this person. Or I'm pretty good at telling, okay, something else is going on in this person's life and they're directing that negative energy towards us out of frustration. And so I'll read an email or I'll read something, and then I can direct my team, okay, I'm opening, I'm compassionate. This person is definitely like something else is going on, and they are fueling it towards us with the frustration of their package being lost or whatever it is. So please have more compassion with this person than normal because they're going through something right now. And that's what rose quartz can help you do. And so especially when there's angry energy coming at you, or abrasive or spiky, like energy is all about a feeling for me. And it can feel hot, it can feel cold, it can feel like spikes. That's my thing, is like if someone's energy is bad, it comes off like spikes to me. So the rose quartz helps me kind of calm myself. I have a gnat too. It helps me center, go into my heart chakra, and realize, okay, this person is going through something right now. I need to remain extremely compassionate because they're frustrated with me right now, but they're not really frustrated with me. They're frustrated with something else and they're projecting. So rose quartz definitely helps you stay in that centered, that heart-centered thing, because that's what being an empath, that's when it's positive, is when you can listen to someone and what they're saying, but you're feeling more, so you can help them figure out what they can't even put into words. So that's definitely what rose quartz is great for. It also will help you build your self-confidence and your courage when it comes to this gift. Because sometimes that's one of the scariest things, especially if you meet someone new and like you're feeling all this energy and like coming out and saying, I know that you're frustrated right now and blah, 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 blah. People, a lot of us, like witchy types or whatever would be like, oh yeah, I get that. Thank you so much. Other people may be like, what is she talking about? How am I feeling? Like, how does she know how I'm feeling? That's kind of freaky. So rose quartz will help you balance that. Ruth says, let me say hi to everyone too. The comments are starting to pop up. Hi to Anita and Macy. And then Ruth says, how do empaths deal with the crisis we are all going through, or how can empaths deal with this type of energy in these crises? So that's kind of what the whole overall, like, that's why I wanted to do this specific topic today. And I think that for a lot of us, it's going to be a combination. There's not going to be like one simple thing that like, okay, do this and you're going to be fine. It's going to be kind of trying different things and finding out what works for you. So that's why this thing was going to go over, I'm doing the gemstones and then essential oils and herbs and then practices, which, to just jump ahead a little bit to maybe kind of let you know like what's coming. The best practice that an empath can do is going to be grounding and centering. And once you can ground and center your energy down into Mother Earth, then you can approach things from a more stable like energy level is what you're going to be able to do. So I'm definitely going to get to that when I get down into practices. Because the gemstones and essential oils really, in the grand scheme of things, aren't going to take very long. So, because I'm already done with gemstones. So, gemstones, so the black tourmaline, fluorite, hematite, rose quartz are the ones I have found. And then finding your personal power stone, because that's going to be able to help you through anything. So that's kind of to just go back over gemstones. So essential oils and herbs, I kind of broke them up into groups, and there are so many herbs, and there's so many herbs that do multiple things. I'm just going over the ones that personally have helped me. So as far as protection, black pepper is like, I'm a kitchen witch, so black pepper is like gold to me. If we are needing a little boost of protection energy or anything like that, I mean, I got pepper on everything. I've got recipes that have pepper in them, main ingredient almost. Black pepper, you can get it in essential oil form or just regular old stuff you get in your kitchen. Sprinkle it. If you're a kitchen witch, sprinkle it on whatever dish you're doing and really envision that protective energy kind of going into you. Also for protection, juniper is great. Clove, because clove has that spice to it, but it has that darkness too. So it's really going to be protective, help you put up a shield. And then one of the best underutilized herbs I feel is motherwort for protection, especially if you're a female or you really resonate with female energies. Motherwort to me is one of the best ones. It's going to give you some really strong protection energy. Dragon's blood resin also does a double duty. So it's going to be protective. It's going to put that, I mean, it's dragon's blood. So think of like a shield of like dragons around you. But dragon's blood also goes into happiness and high vibe. So if you're feeling depression, you're feeling that sinking coming in, kind of like that sinking feeling that happens when you go into what I call empath overload. Dragon's blood's going to help raise your vibration, along with orange, especially like sweet orange. Again, if any of these can be eaten, the kitchen witch in me is wants me to tell you, like, grab you some oranges. My husband and I, during all of this right now, we eat an orange every night. We eat an orange for the vitamin C, I do it for the happiness and kind of the calm. Every night we're eating an orange. And then Maria says, I was told to put juniper berries over the door for protection. Juniper berries, rosemary, like a sprig of rosemary with juniper over top of the door. Super protective for the house too. So as far as happiness and high vibe as well, along with the dragon's blood, orange, rose, which will also do with the heart chakra. All of these, there's so many like multi-purpose ones. Geranium, which is it's like a rose cousin. They smell almost identical to me. And jasmine. All of those are going to really, kind of raise your vibe, but also calm you out, which is the next kind of group of oils or herbs. Chamomile, lavender, definitely comforting and calming if your energy is too chaotic. And then as far as herbs, St. John's wort, I do know if you are on, I believe it's antidepressants or anxiety meds, make sure you double check on the St. John's wort before you use it internally. There could be some kind of reaction there with them, but adding the herb to oils, things like that, and then wearing as a perfume, you're good to go on that. Calming. Okay, so then we also have cleansing and balance. So frankincense and sage are the two best ones for that. And then for focus, again, we talked about the fluorite and the hematite really focusing the energy that that's getting thrown at you. Rosemary and cedarwood are going to be really good for focusing your energy or focusing on the energies. If they're coming at you, you know, kind of differentiating what's yours, what's someone else's, and how can you filter that or help with that. Teas. Teas, yes. Ruth asks about teas. Definitely chamomile tea, lavender tea. That's why, see, I'm a kitchen witch. So I'm like, if you can take it, eat it, drink it, then that's going to help you. Like, that's going to help get those energies like inside of you. Definitely. And I've even heard of, oh man, a thyme and like sage tea that's really good for like cleansing, protection. I could not sage and thyme to me are like turkey at Thanksgiving time. Like that's thyme, THYME. But those are herbs for like cooking savory dishes. But I know people that will brew them up and drink a tea of sage and thyme, THYME. So if you can do like a savory tea, why not? Because sage and thyme are going to be really good too for protection and cleansing. Definitely. So yeah, so just to kind of recap, and definitely, and I forgot to say this at the beginning, if you're watching this on replay, type replay for me so I know who's watching it or who is doing live and who is doing, you know, for the replay. But we've done some gemstones, black tourmaline, fluorite, hematite, rose quartz, and then finding your personal power stone. And I've gone over some essential oils and herbs. Essential oils too, if you plan to make body oil or plan to wear essential oils, you definitely have to dilute most of them. There's only a handful of them that are fine without diluting. And it's so few that it's just better to be cautious and go ahead and just dilute all of them. So a few drops of essential oil into a tablespoon of carrier oil. We use apricot kernel and jojoba oil here at Ain't Guys Creations. So you can definitely do that and you can make a blend. You can also diffuse essential oils. I talked last week about in our home right now, we're diffusing clove. It's lemon, which is also for happiness and kind of calming. Lavender for calming. Sage, rosemary. Sometimes eucalyptus and peppermint for healing and protection, but the sage and the rosemary for healing and protection. And clove. I'll throw some clove and sometimes thyme in there too for protection during these times as well. And that's kind of diffusing in my home all the time. Macy says, what about mint? Mint is great for healing, definitely. It's actually an energizer and a calmer. Figure that out. I use mint and lavender for headaches. Put it right on the temples. But it also, you can do it for stomach. I'm going into a little bit of everything. There's like stomach upset you can use mint for, but that's how it's good for calming. It will actually calm the whole system down, but the smell is invigorating. So it'll raise your energy level if you're feeling a low energy level. Anita says thyme and sage tea with raw honey. See, I've heard that. I can't do it. I have to do chamomile, lavender, rose, like sweeter ones with honey. And then I'm good on the tea, but I can't do, and then like cinnamon and orange, I can do like spice teas. I can't do the savory ones. Chrissy says, thank you. You're welcome. What did you say you could use as carrier oils? I use apricot kernel oil and jojoba oil. Jojoba oil mimics the natural oils of the skin as close as possible. So if you use essential oils in a jojoba oil, it should stick to your skin a little longer. I've used everything though. I've used safflower oil before. Hemp oil is really nourishing to the skin, but some of them have a little bit of a scent to them, so they'll mess. Hemp oil has a scent, and it'll mess with the essential oils a little bit. For me, apricot kernel and jojoba oil don't really have a scent at all, so they make really good bases. Christmas says, thanks for all this info. You're welcome. This is fun. It's fun because I love my family, but like I love talking about stuff like this. And sometimes I'll kind of go off on tangents and you just kind of see their eyes gloss over because especially my kids, because they grew up with mom talking about essential oils and crystals, and they're just kind of like, we've heard this for 15 years, Mom, thanks. So I'm glad that I get to go and talk to other people about it because it makes me really happy. All right, so moving on, practices. And this is kind of, I think, where all of this kind of gets brought together. So basically, how you process what I call empath overload, which is just, which is what most of us are in right now. There's generally two different ways you're going to process empath overload, okay? One of them is the emotional roller coaster. Up 1 minute, down the next, crying the next, angry the next, want to save the world the next. I mean, that's one way that we empaths, we're kind of getting flooded with all of these emotions and everything. That's definitely one way that a lot of us process the information. The second is anxiety. Empaths are some of the most anxious group of people, or the rate of anxiety to empaths is statistically crazy. Because we're taking on so much and we don't know how to process it. And we don't know a lot of times how to tell the difference between my feelings and that person's feelings and maybe my next door neighbor's feelings and the nation as a whole. It gets crazy. So for me, I'm both. And emotional roller coaster is crazy right now. My anxiety is actually just because I have actually treated my anxiety overall over the last few years. I don't get as much anxiety. Now, when I do get anxious or when I feel that anxiety coming on, I generally clean. So it works right now during a pandemic for me to just scrub my house or scrub the office, and my husband he kind of watches me. He'll be watching the news or something and they'll give me a statistic and all of a sudden I'll just get up and start wiping off door handles. So it really works right now. But those are kind of the two ways that empath. I hope that y'all end up, I have no idea what just happened. We went blank. Thought that my camera went out and then saw this thing pop up and it was like, your live has ended. And I'm like, really? I was getting to the good stuff. So I apologize. And I hope that you all join and kind of see that I started a new one, because I'm just going to say it, that was bullshit. Like, really? Don't even know what happened. Blank screen. My screen went black. And then, yeah, it was like, your live has ended. I'm like, well, that's cool. All right. So I see some of y'all getting back in here now. I don't have any idea what just happened. The screen went black and it was like, your live ended. And I'm like, nope, my live didn't end. I was getting to the good stuff. So thanks, Facebook. God, we had quite a few people on there when it ended too. I hope they kind of realized that, because I like immediately started it back up and it says part 2 here because I don't know what happened. So thank you all. I'm seeing now the numbers come back. Thank you all for rejoining. I have no idea what happened. I had a black screen and then it was like, your Facebook Live has ended. So I was like, great, awesome. So picking up where I left off. So we're in the practices section and we've gone through, there's 2 different things going on. When you go into empath overload, there's going to be the emotional roller coaster and there's going to be anxiety. So those are kind of the 2 things, the 2 ways that we empaths really, as we're getting flooded with all of these energies, that's the 2 ways that our brain, our emotions, our bodies, and everything act towards it. So regardless of whether you are an emotional roller coaster person or if you do suffer from anxiety, you want to definitely ground, center, deep breathe, and put yourself into a protective bubble. So ground and center, the easiest way is to deep breathe. I talked last week about taking those deep breaths. You can go outside and put your hands into the earth, because the Mother Earth wants all of this to be right. She wants everyone to be calm and happy, and she wants her earth healed. So connecting with that grounding energy is definitely the easiest way to bring your energy back. We talked about hematite earlier as a way to bring your energy back. But just focusing on your breath, breathing deep breaths in, deep breaths out is going to bring your energy back and ground you and center you during this time. Once you're grounded and centered, you can use your gemstones for protection. You can use your essential oils, any sprays, anything like that. But you definitely want to, I always envision a protective bubble of energy around me, kind of like around my aura. I use golden light, or, there are different colored lights or energies that you can envision around you. Let me just look from last week. So your blue, if you do blues, especially a light blue, that's going to be more of a healing energy around you. Pink for love. Purple or white is going to be for divine protection as well, which is why I use a purple light. Or I use a golden light, because golden is also has to do with purple, white, and like divine protection as well. So envisioning that kind of like a bubble around you will help you with your energy, will help protect you and kind of put up a shield around you while all of this is going on. Another practice for, helping to protect, especially when things are crazy right now, are worry stones. And then I had said at the beginning, there is a reason why I wear gemstone bracelets. So worry stones, palm stones, even tumbled stones, some wands, anything, and gemstone bracelets. So let me show you. I did this at the dentist a couple of weeks ago, and my dental hygienist was like, okay, so you have to tell me what you're doing. I'm like, okay, cool, let's do this. Because I took my bracelet off, and so I start, this motion. So this motion, which is why worry stones have an indentation on one side. But this motion right here, this is a pressure point for anxiety, okay? So doing this motion over and over again actually triggers the production of some feel-good hormones and everything in your brain. So that's why palm stones and worry stones generally have that indentation carved out. Palm stones don't, but any gemstone, if you can sit there and or you can just do it like this, but it really works if you have something like a gemstone that you can work with. So that's why prayer beads work so well. They focus your energy, but then you can pass them. When my husband was stationed in Greece one time, he brought home, they called them prayer beads or protection beads, and they were movable. So they looked like they were on a big necklace, but then they had parts that, came down, like kind of hung off of it. And that's what they did. It was like a cultural thing out there, but you would sit there and run the beads through while you were praying, and it helps to alleviate your worry. Well, that's because this right here is an actual reflexology, or it's like a pressure point that will produce some feel-good hormones in your brain. So I highly recommend, the chances of a witch having a gemstone in her pocket are pretty good, or bra. That's a great carrying spot too. But if you can do gemstone bracelets, like, it's fashionable. And like I said, I was at the dentist, and she got ready, my hygienist got ready to start cleaning my teeth. And it just causes a little bit of anxiety, you know. So I popped it off and I just started running it through my fingers. And she was like, oh, okay, tell me, what are you doing right now? And so I explained it to her and she was like, that is fascinating. So if you can also find a gemstone that works as either your personal power gemstone or one that works with grounding or protection, then that kind of boosts it as well. So yeah, and other protection. So we went over the black tourmaline. I think I've seen black tourmaline worry stones, but anything like onyx or jet or obsidian, like any of those will work. Like dark stones are really good for protection and kind of grounding. So you can definitely do that. But that motion right there is great. Another practice for right now. So familiars, I wrote down familiars, comfort animals, things like that, emotional support animals. But also along with that are going to be hoodies, blankets, pillows. So this is where, and I get asked this a lot. So you can charge things like your favorite blanket, hoodie, pillow, stuffed animal, any of this. You can charge them when your energy is high. When your energy is high and you're having a great emotional day, you can actually charge these comfort items. And then kind of like a battery. So you're going to add your good energy. And then on a day when you're not feeling so great, you can absorb that energy. It's your own energy. It's positive energy. You can get under that blanket. You can hold that pillow, that stuffed animal, put on that hoodie, that sweater, and get that energy back to you on a day that you're not feeling so great. So for me also, I do have, my daughter gave me a weighted blanket for Christmas. It's best sleep I've ever had. There have been so many studies on people with anxiety and weighted blankets. So I definitely, if you can snag one, I definitely recommend. The weighted blanket has helped my anxiety. I also we have a zoo here. 2 dogs, 4 cats, 7 chickens, and we used to have a hedgehog, but he went to live at the science department at my daughter's high school. But I have 2 of them that are like mine. They're like my familiars. One of them is my kitten, Caswell. I guess he's still a kitten. He's under a year, but Castiel is he's my sweet boy. He is my emotional support animal right now. So if I'm starting to feel really anxious, like I definitely want him and I want to cuddle him and that's and I just sit there and like hold him and things get so much better, like just holding him. But if you aren't someone if you can't have animals or you haven't found your familiar yet, then the same thing applies. It's basically just using something that brings you comfort. So when you are scattered and your energy is crazy, you can bring it back to you and you have that comfort. But it's the charging of it when your energy is great. That's more of like a everyday magical practice or witchcraft or whatever you want to call it. That's what people don't tend to do or they don't think of doing. So definitely when you're having a great day, throw on that favorite hoodie and then try to only use that for when you need it. So you're charging it up with your positive energy and then you're putting it on or you're utilizing it when your energy is low again. So there's also, for the emotional roller coaster people, those people that when they're reaching empath overload and they really don't know what to do with everything, running water. So water is associated with emotion. The element of water is associated with emotions. So you can use that to help you out. Use running water to wash off in a way and filter out those emotions when they're getting too much. So you can definitely take a shower, wash your hands, even just under the running water, and you want to visualize that build up of emotion kind of coming out of you and being absorbed and going into the running water. If you are fortunate enough to live near a stream, river, things like that, same thing applies. You can just pop your hands into the water and, you know, visualize that buildup of emotional energy, those emotions that are kind of making you crazy coming out of your body and being absorbed by the element of water. And in that running water is very cleansing. It cleanses itself. And so you can kind of trust that everything is coming out of you and it's being absorbed, and it's being cleansed as the water continues to rush. So for us modern day witches, you could definitely take a shower, or wash your hands. So again, with, you know, pandemic going on, double duty, wash your hands helps you get rid of that pent up emotion as well as keeps you safe. So another practice that I have done in the past is you can, if you're putting on lotion or body oil, even makeup, you can draw personal power sigils or protection symbols in with the lotion. Really kind of envision that symbol being absorbed into your body, and then you can work it in so that ends up being, that sigil ends up being a part of you and acts as a protective shield. So that's definitely another really easy kind of everyday magic practice. So that's the end of my notes. How awesome is that? I talked for a second on, before my thing cut out, crazy. I'm hoping a lot of you did get back to this one, to this video before whatever happened before. I talked a bit about, I can be both an emotional roller coaster empath as well as an anxiety ridden. For me, over the last couple of years, I've really handled the anxiety side of it through meditation. And my personal savior was CBD oil, which is legal in all 50 states. If that is a direction that you would like to, I can't recommend any brands or anything like that, because here in the state of Arizona, we're a medical state. And so we actually have dispensaries and everything where they grow their own, and they grow with THC and without THC. But I'm always like a without THC person, but they grow their own, and then they make their own tinctures and things like that. So for me, that has been a saving grace as far as anxiety period, but especially when things kind of get crazy. So definitely do your research if you want to go that direction and you want to start doing like CBD oil or tinctures or things like that. I do not recommend ones you can buy at the gas station because they're kind of popping up all over the place. Our pharmacies here in Arizona have started, actually, there's like displays at the pharmacies. So definitely do your research because that's gonna, CBD for me at least has kind of balanced out, and it brings that body back to a state of balance, and kind of anything that's out of whack, it does bring it back into alignment. So that's what it's done for me, and it's been a lifesaver. CBD oil, really, I am like one of those success stories when it comes to CBD. So if you, like I said, if you want to kind of head that direction, definitely do your research on reputable companies. But it is legal in all 50 states if it's just, pure CBD oil. So you should have no problem once you find a company, to have it shipped to you. So definitely, like, that's how I kind of got a handle on my anxiety as a whole. And it helps me now that things are crazy. It helps me because I know what my normal anxiety is. And now I know, okay, this is because I watched the news today and I shouldn't have done that. Or, you know, this is not me. Like, I'm good right now. So now I must be getting anxiety from my daughter or, you know, from a friend. Or now I know, like, this is not my anxiety because I know what my anxiety feels like and my handle of it. So now I know that this must be coming from another source. So it's helped me because I got my own anxiety in check. It's helped me be able to filter what's kind of going on around me. So if you have any questions, pop them up on the screen, you know, in the chat, and I'll try to address them real quick, you know, before I get off. I know that now this is split into 2 videos for the replay. I'll try and, like, when I go to post it, I'll make sure to put it in the description kind of what happened, which I have no idea. Screen went black and it was like, your video's done. And I'm like, no. But I went over for protection for empaths, gemstones, essential oils and herbs that can really help, and then some practices, which the first and foremost above any of them is ground and center. You need to, with being an empath, your energy can shoot out in so many different directions. You need to bring your energy back to you. And once you bring it back to you, you need to make sure that it's cleansed, that it's your own energy, and that it's protected. So you want to bring it back, ground, center, and then you can move forward with cleansing, protecting, things like that. I have some comments. Weighted blankets. I swear by mine. I love it. And thank you for joining, Ruth. I'm glad that you made it over to this video too. So these are kind of just ways that have helped me. If you definitely have any questions, pop them into, you know, if you're watching this on replay, you know, say replay for me so I know that you came on, you know, after the live. And then if you have any questions, you know, put them in the comments, and I do read through the comments, you know, periodically, and I can try and answer any of them that you all have. I do want to thank you all for joining me tonight and for making the shift over to the second video. I swear it's still Mercury retrograde. I swear it's not, but I would swear that it still is. Just weird stuff like that's been happening. But we're going to be here. I'm going to be here every Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific. It'll be a different topic every week. I'm going to try and make it apply to kind of what's going on. But to be honest, the morning I wake up, I mean, the topic could end up being completely different because there's something that's just calling to me to talk about because somebody needs to hear it. So that's what I've found is the best thing for right now. But thank you all for joining me. And I hope to see you all again next week with 0 technical difficulties in sound or vision. That's my goal for next Friday. So thank you. And I want you all to have a great night.